One. And we're live. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Square Table Degenerates podcast. We're here live, joined by Pat. Say hi, Pat.
Hi, Pat.
Hello.
We're joined by Nakatori, or whatever the hell her name is. Say hi to Nakatori. And Tom's joining us remotely. How you doing, Tom?
You named it.
Good.
Is that Hello Kitty?
I think it's Hello Kitty or Hello something. I don't know.
Hello, Nick.
We're waiting on Mr. Kenneth Bone. I confirmed him about 2 hours ago to email, and then
So loud. Calm down.
You're too loud. Whoa, shit. Whoa. I want a double feed there. There we go.
I like the Joe Jorgensen shirt.
Isn't it cool? I got a yard sign that's still in the mail. I hope it gets here before the fucking election, bro.
Yeah.
Well, the whole reason for getting... Well, I'll get some of the shout-outs out the way while we're waiting on Ken Bone. Hopefully he doesn't, forget about it. I'll email it in a second here. You know how paranoid we get. But I can show the email.
I mean.
Right? Shit. But so I was talking to my buddy Josh Ferris. I was in their guard with him. And he showed me the thing about Ken Bone endorsing Joe Jorgensen. I was like, okay. I was like, I wonder if I can get that guy in the show. Yeah. And I looked on Twitter and I couldn't find anything. I mean, he has a Twitter, but you can't direct message him and shit like that. He doesn't have an Instagram or Facebook. So I get Josh just sends me back. He's like, hey, this email says confirmed. So I emailed it. And he said back, sure, well, I'll do it. And hopefully he wasn't just fucking with me because we're still waiting.
That's okay. Did you double check Eastern Standard Time?
Yeah, he's in Illinois, and I told him 5 different times on the thing. Let me see.
Is Illinois Eastern Standard Time?
Well, Illinois is Central. Illinois is Central. So yeah, I told him he knows the time. Let me email one more time here.
Behind.
Oh, here we go. There's still no link. What do you say? Bear with me here. Stream here.
It's good.
Oh, it says it's just plain text. Hold on. Gosh dang it. We're having email issues, so this wasn't on me. This was on. Let me try this.
It was on you.
Ken Bone.
It's good we're doing this live.
Right?
Glad we're doing this live. And
well, it happens, man. It happens.
Yeah, it's all right.
Link to show.
Yeah, people get a lot of hate for doing the third party vote.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, right?
It's like throwing vote away.
If this works. Let's see.
I think in the next couple presidential election cycles, you're actually going to see third party potentially take over. Well, I mean, you're running the gamut with the Democrats. They ran Biden, who really nobody wanted. I mean, everybody wanted, Bernie or freaking We Want a Yang, obviously. Other people wanted Liz Warren, B.B. Buttigieg. I mean, there's several other way better candidates. Yeah, they got forced through. Same thing with Hillary. I mean, I think more people wanted
Bernie last time too. Shit,
but
well, yeah. Like, what the hell can you do, man?
They force through who they want. What I is not really upsetting, but like disappointing is that you don't see any of the Joe Jorgensen stuff on the news. Like, she's never anywhere.
Zero coverage. Well, Jorgensen isn't getting any pub because of. I mean, she's not really a name. Like Gary Johnson was a governor, of New Jersey or New Mexico. She was kind of a name for a little bit, but he wasn't like. Fucking Jorgensen, she was like a vice presidential candidate, I think back in 96 or something like that, but it's like, she's not like a name, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, we're still waiting on Mr. Bone to
name.
See if we can find name. It's not a name. He's a name, but not a name.
Name.
How many names is that?
Is it Echo? Echo. Stick.
She should have gotten on the YouTube rounds with like the Joe Rogan and everybody else. Kind of like Andrew Yang was on there. He got a lot of supporters through that.
And what I think there's been negotiations to get on Rogan, but I think they fell through actually.
Yeah.
That's what I read. Because I mean Rogan's like when Kelly Pavlik told us, he said Rogan's just like you call up and that's it, boom. Or he texts you like randomly. And that's it.
You.
Right. Let me just try to plain text this here. StreamYard.com /Wava DCT2. All right.
Emily just asked, "Who's that pink person?"
Nice. Thanks for those of you just joining us. We're still waiting on Mr. Ken Bone to get the link here.
I'm the pink person.
Apparently, Gmail is fucking up the link between my Yahoo email and Mr. Ken Bone's email, I think is what's going on.
Yeah.
But I sent him the link and I sent it to him with without the thing so he can hopefully type it in maybe. If he had a social media, then...
Die.
All right, Nikki, stop.
It's by me.
The old, just copy paste instead of trying to click on it.
You click it off.
Right. That's what I was telling him. But hopefully we'll see here. I'm waiting on the next email. He doesn't have social media. He's got email. Well, he's got his Twitter.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's not on Twitter like posting music. He's jumping dumbasses. I can't get on their show and shit.
He probably is.
Right? That'd be funny. Oh, here we go. Ken Bone's on here.
Hi.
Welcome to Mr. Ken Bone. How are you today, sir?
How's it going?
Not too bad. Glad you can hear us enjoy us. We're joined here by I'm Joe. My name's Joe. To the right of me is Pat.
Hi, Pat.
There's an anonymous pink hair girl. And up in the top bubble there is Tom. Right, Tom. He's joined us virtually because he has a kid at home.
Hey,
Just
no offense to the rest of you, but anonymous pink hair girl is already my favorite.
It's all good.
She's a little washed out. There's too much light on her.
Right.
All I see is just washed out white.
She looks like an angel. Actually, it kind of looks shitty, but no.
So how you doing today, Mr. Bone?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you guys?
Not too bad. We're glad you could join us today. It was a quick response in the email. I really appreciate that.
No
Now-
problem. I haven't gone Hollywood yet. I still answer people.
Good deal. I mean, I saw on Bill Maher you said you were an F-list celebrity, so I'm like a double Z, I think, right now. If you're still breaking into it.
Yeah, it's overrated anyway.
Exactly. So
All I
I'm
get you is shamed for voting your conscience.
exactly. We're going to get into a lot of that for sure. We're going to get a lot of that.
I saw the comments on your Twitter post. It was kind of ridiculous. A lot of them.
Well, it's enough to turn anybody into a real libertarian, and not just one of them bullshit libertarians, but like one that has the porcupine and everything.
Right, an actual libertarian who talks to other libertarians and talks about libertarian stuff. I 100% agree. Now, I was checking on your Wikipedia page. Some of it was bare, some of it was not. I mean, there was a little bit out there. But where were you born? Were you born there in Bellevue, Illinois?
Well, I'm glad they reinstated my Wikipedia page. For about 2 years there, they said I wasn't famous enough, and they actually took it down. So I guess I'm legit again. I got a Wikipedia page. It used to just take you to the basketball coach that has the same name. Well, I was born in a little town not very far from here called Granite City. It's Trump did a rally there like last year or the year before at a steel mill that he said he got back opened up because of his amazing steel deal or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, it opened back up like 8 days after he made that deal. Obviously, you don't open up a steel mill in friggin' 8 days. Those things take 8 months to plan. So happy coincidence for him. He got to take credit for it.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, that's only like half an hour from here. I'm, within, you can see the arch from there, the St. Louis Arch, if you get up on something tall. And I'm not much further from St. Louis now. I'm on the Illinois side, but it's only like half an hour from downtown St. Louis.
Okay. Now, did you grow up? Where did you grow up? In that Granite City? Did you grow up in Bellevue? How was growing up?
Yeah, I grew up in Granite City. I moved here to Belleville like 7 or 8 years ago just because it's closer to work. I work out at a coal-fired power plant, and power plants are always out in the middle of nowhere because nobody wants you to build them next to their house.
Not my backyard.
Yeah, I wish they'd build it next to my house. Then I could friggin' walk to work. And, I know that we're not just dumping poison all over the place. We actually take really good care of the environment, but you can't convince the Sierra Club of that.
Right. Now, when you went to high school, what were you known for primarily in high school? What was your attitude like? What was your demeanor like? Stuff like that.
Well, I was class of 2000, Granite City High School. Go Warriors. I don't know. I was kind of the nerdy kid, but I got along with everybody. I didn't get picked on because I was bigger and stronger than the other nerds. There was easier targets out there, I guess. But I was in like the college prep classes and, all the nerdy stuff. I felt like I needed to join the chess club, but I sucked at chess, so I quit that after a while. But I just was the guy that everybody kind of knew of, but wasn't the super popular guy. They just kind of recognized my goofy looking face.
Okay. Now, being so close to like Scott Air Force Base and all that right there, was there any pressure to join the service, or did you ever think about the military or anything like that out of high school?
Well, I graduated in 2000, so 9/11 was right during my freshman year of college, and everybody was thinking about joining the military then. And right out of high school, I had considered joining the Air Force. I really wanted to be a fighter pilot. But back then, you had to have natural 20/20 vision. LASIK didn't count because the technology wasn't proven yet. So they're like, they won't even accept you into the program, but you can do all this other dope stuff. I was like, no, I want to be Top Gun. I ain't even doing it. So I ended up not signing up. Sometimes I wish I had, but I like where my life is, so I guess I wouldn't go back and change it.
Nice. My life kind of went the other direction. I kind of was like, Air Force this and then they kind of talked me into it, and next 20 years later, I ended up retiring. But well, Scott Air Force Base was always funny to me because that's like one of the big questions in all our tests in the Air Force was, where's the headquarters of U.S. Transcom, U.S. Scott Air Force Base? Like it's like 3 test questions on every fucking test you got for the Air Force. It's hilarious.
Awesome. Well, we love Scott Air Force Base here. Like half my neighborhood, because it's a par 5 away from my house. It is not far at all. So we can hear them when they go out on maneuvers. The big transport ships, they make a little bit of noise. They're pretty cool. And they're actually pretty good neighbors. They're pretty good about not flying the big ones real low early in the morning, because they know they got to keep the neighborhood love up so that people don't stop wanting them to be around. But since it's so close, everybody that doesn't live on base housing, mostly people with families, they buy houses in the neighborhoods like mine. So there's always a house for sale in my neighborhood if you guys are looking to move, because there's an Air Force guy who's about to get redeployed someplace else.
Every single time. They're moving away again. That's awesome.
It's more efficient to have to move every 3 years. It lowers the stress on our servicemen and makes them more efficient, or at least that's what the fucking brass seems to think from the looks of it.
Now you did say you were coal-powered. That was actually one of my questions was about the power plant. It says you're coal-fired fire. I can't even talk now. Coal-fired power plant operator. Is that what is correct?
Yeah, we're a power plant that burns coal for our fuel source. The coal mine is right across the street. And anytime I talk about what I do for a living, I should also mention that I am not the official spokesperson of my company and will not mention them by name because I do not want to misrepresent my views as the company views. My views are my own. And if you want to know the company's views, you can check out their website and all kinds of great shit. They're good people and I like working for them. But yeah, you guys know how the game is played.
Well, for sure.
Yeah, we burn coal and we make electricity out of it. It's a relatively simple process. I take care of all the technical training for our operations staff. I help them get qualified in all the various areas out in the plant. I started there as a guy out in the field, turning valves, cleaning up messes, writing stuff down on a clipboard. Then I moved up, became the control room operator, which is kind of what Homer does on The Simpsons. You sit at the controls and work them. So it's all computers instead of buttons and switches now.
You can't work at home now with the thing. Just clicking yes.
Yeah, the drinking bird, just clicking Y over and over again. I did get to work from home for about 9 weeks, just like building training curriculum and stuff. But then once it was safe to do in-person classes again, they brought me back, started teaching class again.
That's awesome. Yeah. Tom actually jumped ahead in a couple of my questions there, but now I got to ask you about college. When you were getting into high school, did you want to be a power plant operator out of high school? Where did you go to college at?
I had no idea what the power plant industry was like when I got out of college. I ended up going to the community college right here in Belleville called Southwestern Illinois College. I've got like 2 or 3 associate's degrees from there. The associate's degrees are worth approximately as much as the paper you print them on. Ended up dropping out before I got a bachelor's because in classic Southern Illinois suburban fashion, I got my girlfriend pregnant and we got married. I was 21 and she was 19. We're still married. It's been 17 years, so it's a success story, statistical outlier.
Congratulations.
But yeah, then I ended up going back to school. I worked in a warehouse for a while and delivered pizza for a while. And then I was like, man, these are not the kind of jobs you retire from. I got to learn to do something. So I went to tech school, went to ITT Tech, which no longer exists. Got a degree in electronics engineering. That's just like low voltage control stuff, communications circuits, control circuits, that kind of stuff. And I just ended up getting hired on in the industry from there.
Okay, because my buddy Mike went to SIU, so I was wondering if you went because that's probably the closest big school to you, I would say, down that way.
Yeah, SIU Edwardsville campus is very, very close. It's where most of the people that graduate down here go if they don't go someplace else. I got accepted to Washington University over in St. Louis, but holy shit, that costs a lot of money, and I could not get the funding pulled together.
My one cousin went to Washington, St. Louis. Yeah, that's a pretty expensive school. My buddy Mike went to Carbondale, though, so it was that's about an hour and a half from you or something like that.
Yeah, about like that. Carbondale is pretty dope. It's a good party atmosphere down there. More
I went down there and party. Oh, Carbondale's great, man. It's kind of like if you're from Ohio and you're watching the show and you want to get a feel for what Carbondale's like, it's kind of like Bowling Green, maybe. Real nice, out in the middle of nowhere college town, but just real good party atmosphere. It's awesome, man. Good vibe. Now, on The Simpsons with the power plant stuff, do you remember the Frank Grimes episode?
Yeah, grimy. Yeah,
it's like
Homer Simpson in his charging life.
When I was putting together
He died, right?
Yeah, he died because he was like, I don't need protective gloves. I'm Homer, and Frank Grimes as Grammy, as he liked to be called. And then they cut to the episode of him in the funeral, and then Homer falls asleep at his funeral. But when I was putting together the questions, I was thinking about that. I'm so glad you're a Simpsons fan. That's really ridiculously awesome right now. So we got to get into to what you're known for, man. You're sitting here October 2016, right? How do you first get approached for this, or what community group are you involved in, or who comes up to you for the idea for this debate question thing?
That's 100% random. I was sitting at home watching Futurama because it's a Sunday afternoon. I'm watching cartoons because that's what I do. And I get a phone call from an unknown number in Omaha, Nebraska on my phone. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I didn't pay my car payment again or something, which is not unusual for me to forget that kind of shit. So I'm like, well, I better tell them the check's in the mail and lie to them or something and go get this straightened out. So I pick it up, and it's the Gallup poll. And they're like, hey, you want to take a survey? I'm like, well, I can do it. Take a survey while I drink beer and watch cartoons. That's cool. So I start doing this survey, and they ask you, like, are you registered to either party? I'm like, no, because that's dumb. Being registered Republican or Democrat. And they're like, do you know who you're going to vote for? I'm like, probably, but things could change because you got to remember this was 2 weeks before the debate, which would have made it 2 weeks before the Access Hollywood tape or the Clinton email, reinvestigation, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That was late in the cycle. So I'm like, I could change my mind, but I'm kind of leaning one way. And they're like, do you have any specific loyalty to either candidate? I'm like, no, they both suck out loud. I've hated Hillary Clinton since I was in high school, and she ran for Senate based solely on her name in a state where she had never lived because she's a carpetbagging piece of shit. And I don't like Donald Trump because he's a game show host who just talks as loud and as fast as he possibly can and has no ideas or leadership skills. And he obviously only won the primary because everybody was too busy taking him like a joke and out sucking each other. And so, yeah, I don't really care for either of those people. And they're like, cool. Well, according to our criteria, that makes you an uncommitted voter. I'm like, all right, cool, thanks. What do I do with that label? I'm like, well, since you're an uncommitted voter, we got a debate coming up. We'd like you to participate in it and be one of the people that ask questions. I'm like, oh, cool. What question you want me to ask? You got to write it yourself. Like, well, that sounds kind of hard, but okay, I'll do it. And then they went through a whole bunch of Secret Service security screenings and crap. And then 2 weeks later, I was up on the stage with 40 other people that had also did it. That was actually 4 years ago today. Today's the anniversary of that debate.
Oh, nice. Nice. And you actually jumped ahead in a couple of my questions. I was going to say, did you know you were going to be on TV at first? So you knew that. Who was the first person you told you got this TV gig?
Well, they don't tell you anything about the debate before you answer the questions because they don't want you to lie, I guess. So they kind of spring that on you if you answer the survey and you end up being what they define as an uncommitted voter. Mm-hmm. So up until then, you just think it's a survey. And then they tell you you're going to be on the debate. And I was like, wow, that's going to be like on TV and shit. That's cool. So my wife kind of had a headache, which you would too if you were married to me. And I went upstairs and told her, like, hey, I get to go to the presidential debate. And she's like, it's a scam. You're getting ripped off. Did they ask you for any money? I'm like, no, they didn't ask me for any money. And she's like, I'll bet they will. And this is the way it's real. And then they told me not to put anything on social media or whatever because they didn't want anybody to know who was going to be there in advance. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of I told my mom And then she put it on social media, and I had to ask her to take it down. But that was about it.
Oh, so just your mom? Were you allowed to? So you didn't tell the? I mean, besides obviously your wife knew, but besides that, you didn't tell no other friends or anything like that. You were gonna be on emails or something like that.
Yeah, my sister and my grandmother. I had to tell my bosses because I needed the day off of work. The guys that were on my work crew at the time, they knew because I told them why I wasn't going to be there that night.
Okay. How many people were you allowed to bring anybody with you to the debate?
No, nobody, just me. And that's okay because I had to be there at like 8 a.m. and the debate started at 7 p.m. So we were there sequestered all day, going through the final security check and pat downs and getting instructions from the moderators and all kinds of crap. And it was really, really intensive. They're like, all right, we're going to rehearse how you go walk out on the stage. And I asked like, so is the camera already going to be rolling when we walk out there? They're like, no, you'll already be on the stage when the cameras start. Like, well, then why do we fucking have to rehearse walking onto the stage if nobody's going to see it? And they're like, we just want to settle everybody down. Okay. I'm like, fine. I don't have everybody's purpose to walk and sit
Do
down
some
and
busy work.
But yeah, we had to rehearse it and we all had to recite our question that we had wrote a whole bunch of times. So we didn't get nervous, but then we also had it written down on a card in case you forgot what you wrote yourself. I think it was really geared towards people who don't like being on camera nearly as much as I do.
So what? So you were there for 11 hours. What was the food like? Did they feed you? Bathroom breaks? What was all that about?
Yeah, they fed us breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and had all kinds of people come and talk to us. And there was a bathroom you could go to, but there was like security dudes and stuff watching all over the place. You couldn't have your phone with you because they didn't want you talking to anybody. No electronic devices, no nothing. So
Joe would be dying over there.
Yeah, I took a copy of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with me and was reading that all day.
I can't go a traffic light without looking at my phone. I couldn't go 11 hours, dude. There's no way. No way. That alone right there, sir, Mr. Kembone, is I salute you for being able to go 11 hours without your phone because you're a better man than me. There's no way, dude.
It
No way.
a bunch of strangers, and I hated it.
So I read that you had an olive suit. It was going to be your original gown, something split. Do you still have that, or whatever happened to that? Did you end up getting that suit fixed, or what?
No, I could have got it fixed, but I'm still too fat for it. But I got the pants are still upstairs. They got a massive hole in the seat. I was like, yeah, like the whole story goes like my grandfather worked at a funeral home after he retired. He became like the greeter that would tell people, like help comfort people and tell them like, oh, your loved one's in this room, or let me take you there, or whatever, or let me get you some coffee. And because he liked, helping people. And to do that, you got to wear a suit every day. He's got to be dressed nice. It's a funeral home. So he became quickly known as like the sharp dressed guy. He had a lot of really awesome suits he looked great in. And he passed away the year before the debate. And he was the centerpiece of the family. We all really missed him. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be on TV. I want to wear the suit that he said he liked best on me, that one. Well, since he had died, I guess I ate too much like comfort food or whatever from missing my grandpa. I gained like 20 pounds and I had to lay down to button up the pants on this suit. And I'm like, Jesus, I'm not going to be able to sit the entire time I'm there. And sure enough, when I went to get into my car, I tore the seam out of my pants from the crotch pretty much all the way back up to the belt line. And the sweater and the khaki colored denim cargo pants I was wearing were just the nicest thing I could find that would only take me 2 minutes to put on. Because they told us if you're late, we're not going to let you in. You don't get to ask your questions. So I had to change as fast as I could.
Yeah.
So you basically just grabbed the nearest second thing you could find and just dipped out the door. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm really, really glad I became known for the red sweater and not for the ridiculous cargo pants. They looked like khakis, but they were not. They were denim cargos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
I'm looking at pictures right now, and everything is basically just from waist up.
Thank God. That's
Now, your question from the debate itself, it says, I got a question about your question because I think there was a word that was different, but it says, what steps will your energy policy take to meet our energy needs while at the same time, now, was it supposed to be remaining? Or
yeah, it was remaining, but I had like, I should have cleared my throat first or something, so it came out as like remaining.
Yeah, remaining environmentally friendly.
And it was really great because every day for like 2 weeks after that, I'd do 30 interviews like this one on various, podcasts and radio shows and stuff. And every single one of them bastards played that back, and I had to listen to myself not be able to pronounce the word remaining. It was painful.
That's hard.
Oh, excuse me. Now, when you were actually asking that, when you were up there for your moment, when the camera turned on you and there was probably 100 million people watching, did you have any thought in your mind of going rogue and just going like Chris Vorell and being like free Whitey or just anything crazy out there? It ever crossed your mind at all?
I think that's why they have you sequestered for so long, so that you take it seriously as part of it. And also, maybe they lied, maybe they were telling the truth, but they said 2 of those people up on the stage weren't real debate participants. They were Secret Service agents. That was the rumor I had flying around. So if you did something crazy, like try to tackle Hillary, because we were like an arm and a half length away from each candidate at any time. Or if you stood up and you were like, Baba Booey, they could have come over and tased your ass, I guess.
Right, answer questions like, what do you think about No. What was the temperature in the studio? Because you were in that sweater. Was it quite warm in there? Was it chilly? How was the weather in there?
It was cold as hell. They told us to expect it to be cold, thanks to Richard Nixon sweating through his suit at the John F. Kennedy debate. So it was like 58 degrees or something like that. They had the thermostat set to.
Wow.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Did you now the camera that you had that you took all the pictures with? Did you develop those pictures? Where are those pictures? You still got them?
I think I got like 2 of them. They look terrible because you see them through the viewfinder of a disposable camera, and it's dark up on the stage. Couldn't see anything. That wasn't unique to me, by the way. All 40 of the debate participants had one. The Presidential Debate Commission gave them to us since they wouldn't let us bring our phones or anything. They're like, well, these guys will probably want to take pictures, so we'll give them this disposable camera. The only reason people associate it with me is because I was the only one that got seen on TV with it. Because the TV cameras were looking at me because I was trending on Twitter, but also everybody else is standing in a big cluster trying to take their picture with Don Jr. or Ivanka or Bill Clinton or whatever. I'm like, I want to go take pictures of this lighting board. That's the biggest light board I've ever seen. Oh man, look at all this sound mixing equipment. That shit's cool. I'm gonna go take a picture of the biggest jib crane I've ever seen.
How much you want to bet those cameras actually had Secret Service microphones inside of them, just in case?
Cool. Sure, why not? The guy at the Walgreens that I gave it to gets a free Secret Service microphone then, I guess.
I was literally going to just ask you that. Where the hell did you find a place to develop film in 2016? Because I had a disposable camera I found in the car because I'm like kind of a hoarder myself, and I found like in a headrest in the thing, or like the middle section you pull your car up, and I took it up to, I think it was Walgreens actually, right down the street here, and they're like, well, we can get it to you in 6 to 8 weeks. I was like, no, I'll just pass on that. That's ridiculous.
I was in New York staying at, I don't remember what, like really, really nice hotel that Izod had me in, because they had me in New York for election day to shoot some video and stuff for them. I had the worst flu I think I've ever had, and I was alternating like Dayquil every 2 hours and Sudafed every other 2 hours, just pounding all day. So the whole day was pretty much a haze. And Izod asked me, like, did you ever get those pictures developed? I'm like, no, I don't even know where to go to get them developed. They said, all right, take them to the concierge of the hotel. We're going to call them and we're going to make sure they get them developed. I was like, okay. So I just go to some dude that looked like Tim Curry in Home Alone 2. And then the pictures went straight to Izod. They sent them back to me. Like, I never even saw the hard copies. They sent them back to me in electronic form. I only got like 2 of the pictures still sitting anywhere. They look like shit.
It's because they took the microphones out. That's why they're like, we'll take care of that for you. Don't worry about it.
Now, when you were at the debate itself, did you get to actually meet Hillary and Donald Trump after the debate? Get any pictures with them or no? Kind of.
Well, Hillary was on my side of the stage. So as she was walking off, like the debate's over and she walked off in like 30 seconds. She wasn't interested in talking to any of the peasantry. She just wanted to go. So I got to shake hands with her and, call her my lady or whatever, because that's what she expects from the serfs. And then she left. Yeah. She didn't want to get any pig muck on her from all of us ignorant farm folk or whatever. So she left. And then Donald Trump was on the other side of the stage, and Donald Trump's whole shtick is he's like, oh, he's your guy. He's the man of the people or whatever. He's the billionaire man of the people. It's amazing. So he stuck around for like 10 minutes, but there's a big crowd around him, and I was like, no, whatever. I can see him on TV later. I don't give a shit. So I shook hands with Eric and Don Jr., and then I'm kind of wandering around taking pictures of the sound equipment, and then I hear, hey, energy guy, come here for a second. I want to talk to you. And I turn around, and it's Bill Clinton. He's pointing at me. He's like, hey, why don't you come here and talk to me for a second, man? So I go over and I talk to Bill Clinton, and he's telling me, he's like, when my wife's president, we're going to make sure folks like you that built America's energy infrastructure, you're not left behind, because America was built on coal, but we don't feel like coal is the future, but we're going to make sure you folks are taken care of. I'm like, wow, thanks, Mr. President. And then his security, because Bill Clinton loves talking to people, because he had, he likes eating McDonald's. He likes talking to regular humans. I think that's why he looks so unhappy with Hillary all the time, because she's a swamp creature and he's like a human being of some kind.
Complete opposite.
So she's gone. Bill's still out there talking, and she's in her car wanting to leave and get to like the spin room. So she's in her convoy or whatever. And the security guy's like, Mr. President, we got to go. Mr. President, we got to go. He's like, hold on a minute. I'm talking to Ken. And then finally they made him leave. And then by the time he was gone, everybody else was gone. So I just kind of walked back to my car.
So at what point before the election did you actually make up your mind?
By the time that the debate that I was at rolled around, I pretty much knew who I wanted to vote for, but I didn't as soon as I got to where I was famous. I hate the word famous because we treat famous people in this country as if they're some kind of like lords or demigods or something, like we're better than everybody else. And I hate that. Famous is just supposed to mean you know who I am without having met me before. That's the only connotation I want, But for lack of a better word, I was famous for a while. And I figured, man, there's enough blue check morons out there telling everybody what they should think. I'm just going to refuse to tell anyone who I vote for. And I kept that up for 4 years until I got tired of it. And I told them the other day who I voted for.
And there was when I was at the poll in 2000. We're gonna get into some stuff about how I dressed up for you as Halloween here in a second. You're gonna like this. This is gonna be good. When I was at the booth, I sat there at the booth. I filled out all the rest of the election stuff, and I got there to the president. And I could not. I swear to God, I could not decide because I didn't. Obviously, I was like you. I didn't really like either of them. And there were some people who liked Hillary so much that I just hated those people so bad. I'm not gonna mention any names. Those of you who know me know who I'm talking about. I hated those people so bad that I was like, fuck this. I'm going to vote for Trump. But I went to go vote for Trump, and I couldn't do it. My hand was, it couldn't poke the little thing. And I went to do it again, and it didn't do it. So I was like, fuck it. I literally, right there in the middle of the thing, I pulled out a coin, flipped the coin up in the thing, heads or tails, it came down heads, and I voted for Hillary right there. And at the time, I didn't know this, but I was still wearing, from the Halloween costume I had worn from your suit from the couple. I was wearing a white shirt and white tie, and I had all white pants because I was trying to make pink hair girl laugh at the time. And supposedly that was like the national everybody wear white for Hillary thing. So I'm sitting up here looking like Colonel Sanders in the line. Everybody's staring at me with where we're at. What the fuck's wrong with this fucking tall white dude? I had no clue any of this until I get home and I'm reading that line. Like, oh, I see you voted for Hillary because you're dressed in white. Ridiculous, man.
Insanity. I love it.
But so after the debate's over and you're doing the talk show circuit, did you have to take time off work? What happened with that?
Well, so I took Sunday off. I was supposed to be working day shift Sunday to be at the debate. And then I ended up having to I was supposed to work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night because we're on a rotating shift schedule. I was at the time anyway. So I called off sick Tuesday. Everybody knew I wasn't sick, but I was like, I don't want to lie to you. I'm not sick, but I can't come to work because I got to go be on TV. And they're like, okay, cool, have fun. And then Wednesday night, I was like, well, I still can't come to work because I got to go be on fucking TV some more. And they're cool. And Thursday, a guy that I work with who really, really, really hates me worked on shift with me. And he did the same job that I do. And there's only 3 of us. And you can be short 1. It really puts a lot of stress on you. You definitely can't be short 2 or you can't run the joint. So he called off sick because he heard I was going to be there and he didn't want to have to deal with me now that I was everybody loved me. So he called off sick. So my boss is like, you have to come in tonight no matter what. I'm like, well, shit. So I had to get up at 4:00 that morning. I was doing interviews and crap all day. Had to go to the DMV to renew my driver's license so that I could get on a plane on Friday because I had to go shoot some video in Washington, D.C. I go to work Thursday night, haven't been up since 4. I get to work at 6, do my Reddit AMA from work. Sorry, work bosses, but you knew this already. We already had our little talking to about it. Worked through until 6 a.m. and then went and shot a commercial that was here in my house with a full camera crew all day Friday. I ended up being up for like 37 hours straight. It was pretty delirious by the time that was over.
Yeah.
That was all the time I took off from work for a while. I took off some more later. Ended up running out of vacation time thanks to going to do interviews and crap, and didn't get to take any more time off for like a whole year.
Now I have a question. With those interviews, you have to tell me if how much it was, but do they actually compensate you when you're doing like the whole circuit? Does anybody actually like pay you for your time, or is
Depends
it just
on
like,
what you're doing.
just for fun?
You don't get paid for podcasts unless I get paid for this podcast, in which case you better fucking cough it up. You don't get paid for doing the news like CNN, MSNBC, all that stuff, unless you're a contributor under contract long term. Those guys get paid. So like Dinesh D'Souza, he gets paid because he comes, he has to do so many hits a week and whatever. But like just interviewees, they don't get paid. Special guests don't get paid. But if it's for like entertainment purposes, like when I did Jimmy Kimmel, you get paid for that because it's entertainment. So yeah, like some stuff does and some stuff doesn't. It's not really that much. I just did a thing for Kimmel the day of the first presidential debate, like last week. I don't know if it aired or not because I missed the show. But I got paid like $600 to film it. It's around that kind of rate. It's whatever the SAG-AFTRA scale day rate is, which I think is $588 is what it is right now for a major network.
And if you're doing like a Kimmel thing, or what, you got to fly out to like LA or New York, they'll pay for all that too.
Yeah, if you have to go somewhere, like when I did Bill Maher.
That was literally my next question. You keep going.
Bill Maher is technically an entertainment program because it's commentary and it's on HBO, so it pays scale. And they pay for all your expenses. That's actually the only time in my life I've flown first class. HBO's got that subscriber money. They fly all their guests first class, and they put me in a really nice hotel in Beverly Hills. It was pretty sweet.
Bill Maher's actually off right now this week because I watch Bill Maher religiously. He's probably one of my top idols that I try to do stuff after. But I was going to ask you about Bill Maher. When you were doing Bill Maher, did Bill Maher, toke up before the show? Did you witness any of the cannabinoidal arts?
No, I didn't see him until I walked out on stage. I only talked to his producers. He doesn't like to go back in the green room and talk to guests in advance. He'll talk to you after the show, but he won't talk to you before the show because he wants it to be fresh. Like he doesn't want you to basically waste any good material before you get on the stage.
Okay.
So the producers just come back and they're like, hey, Bill thinks he might want to ask you about this and he might want to ask about this, just to kind of give you a general idea of what he's looking for. And, then you just go out on stage and get started.
I heard Joe Rogan might be like that a few times. Interviewees, they get to do an interview in the Joe Rogan show, and they're like, "All right, let's go to the room. Let's start the podcast or whatever."
It's the best way to do it, honestly, because like if you say something that's actually insightful or good, and they're like, "Man, that's great. Say it on the show." It never, ever, ever sounds organic or real. It sounds like somebody wrote it for you, even if you came up with it yourself. So I much prefer to be fresh out on the stage.
Well, that's the way we do it. We just cut on the mic and just start talking. I mean, half the time we try to get sound checks in, but like you're having issues with the thing earlier in the email. It's StreamYard's a variable technology. It's a good thing, though. How was Bill Maher himself, though, after the show? Did you get to talk to him, BS with him a little bit?
Yeah, I mostly talked to the other guests from that night. I talked to SE Cup for a little while because she was one of the panelists that night. I didn't get to talk to Bill very much because not very long after the show, he had a comedy gig in Vegas that night. So he was doing like a 11 o'clock set at some casino in Vegas. So he ended up flying out right after we were done on the air. I only got to talk to him for a couple of minutes. I thought he was a nice enough guy. A bunch of people say that he's some kind of dickhead or whatever. I don't think he is. I think he's just really opinionated And if you challenge his opinions, he wants to go at it with you. Like if you say like, no, Bill, I'm a religious dude, and I think that it's not cool that you're such a hardcore evangelical atheist. He's going to get in your grill about it, and he wants you to try to prove it to him that, you know, and it's not just the religion stuff. It's any political viewpoint or any viewpoint at all. If you want to try to change his mind, you're going to have to come with some kind of facts. And I don't think that's him being a dick at all. He's just strongly.
He's got his convictions.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. He's got his convictions. He's got his stuff he believes in, and he'll change his mind if you could really prove it to him, I guess. But he's had a lot of life experience now. I think he's pretty set in what he believes.
Oh, yeah. Now, Snoop Doggy Dogg, did you ever? I saw he tagged you on a thing and said he wanted to smoke it out with you. You don't have to get into the smoking because I'm sure you're drug testing and all that. But did you ever get to Howard Snoop Dogg, talking on the phone with him, meet him, or anything like that?
No, I never did get to meet Snoop. I wish I had, because it would have been awesome. I wouldn't have been able to smoke with him because I got random drug tested many, many times after I did all this traveling. And I don't want to accuse my company of anything. I'm sure it really was random and it was just coincidence. But if I had partaken with Snoop, I would have got fired for sure because I got hit on the random drug screening every month for like 3 months.
Yeah, it was like in the military. Whenever we'd have a long holiday weekend, you get like a 96 or whatever. You come back from vacation up, piss test Monday morning. Got to show up. All the lower enlisted guys.
Right. The colonel is never going into the office.
Oh no, Operation Golden Flow.
Now, does that become harder now? With this is just off topic a little bit, but now the Illinois has legalized marijuana. Your friend circle is a lot more recreational stuff going on out there. Is it harder to maintain that being able to pass a drug test? I mean, is it any issue for you at all?
It's not an issue for me. I've never looked down on anybody for marijuana. I've had lots of close friends and family that were users even before it was legal. I'm sure the statute of limitations is up now, so they wouldn't mind me saying that. And I've never looked down on them like they were some kind of stoners or anything. It just never really was my thing. And even if it is my thing, I can't do it now because not only could I get in trouble at work, but we legit do work around a lot of heavy equipment and dangerous energy and stuff. You don't want anybody who's there to potentially be high while they're on the job. And there's just not a reliable real-time drug test like there is for alcohol. So they're not going to be able to change the rules in heavy industry until there's a test like that can see if you're high on the job.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, alcohol is like you either blood alcohol, but you could have smoked 2 weeks ago and you've been sober since, but you'll still pop on a test for it.
Yeah, so it's nobody that really works at the plant wants to take that chance because we have good jobs, we make a good living. So they're like, save that for after you retire or after they come up with some kind of testing method that'll make it possible to do it on a long weekend or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Now, who were some of your favorite politicians and celebs you met out there? Who were some of the more nicer people you met?
Well, I got to meet Robert Downey Jr. for about 5 seconds. He was pretty cool. I don't think he knew who I was. I think he just saw a confused man walking around on the red carpet and wanted to show me like how you walk on the red carpet because I was literally like kind of being like, where am I supposed to go? Do I go that way or do I go this way? And they're like, you go toward the theater, dumbass. Oh, okay. He walked by and he's like, watch, you do it this way, kid. And then he walked and he was like showing off the lining and making finger guns at the photographer. And then he was gone. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm pretty sure that was Iron Man. Maybe it was his stunt double or something, but I think it was him. Anderson Cooper was really, really nice. When you're born with Vanderbilt money, you can pay other people to be assholes for you, I guess. So if he ever needs that service, he can acquire it. But he was very, very nice, man. Andy Cohen was pretty cool. I got to talk to him just for a second. He was on stage, and I was on mic down in a crowd at an event they were doing. He was really cool. Made him laugh. Lots of news journalists are cool when you talk to them. I've never really had a problem with anybody I met face to face. I've had plenty of problems with like radio shock jocks who want to wake you up at 5 a.m. and, try to make you hang up or try to make you angry or whatever. And they treat it as if it's going to be a real interview and then they just make fun of you. So I've learned, I'm not going to let you get 2 segments out of this. As soon as you get the first zinger in, I'm like, okay, Joe from Cucamonga wants to ask you why you got such a fat head. Okay, bye.
They're just trying to get the next viral clip nowadays.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to get that out of me. We had one just last week. A couple guys from Detroit called my grandma, and we're recording her without telling her in advance. Hey, we're recording this podcast, because that's what professionals like you guys do. You say, "Hey, Ken, will you come on our podcast?" You don't fucking call my phone, and I can hear the recording hiss on the other end of my phone. And recording. Well, they did that to my grandma and had her on the line for like 20 minutes. So I hope they got their 35, downloads out of that.
Right, good. Yeah, for those of you out there and you're wanting to do what we do, don't do that, because that's not the way to do it. You have to organically do it and ask people and be nice. You got to be nice to people out there. It's not kissing ass. You're just being nice. You're being friendly.
You'll never get another decent guest again if you get a reputation for doing that shit. And talking heads like me, we do talk to each other. Like even really, really, really low level people like me, I occasionally talk to actual podcasters back. I'm friends with like Katie Herzog and Bridget Fedesi and people that have big podcasts. They will never be a guest on this Jerkoff's podcast because he did that to my grandma. So they really screwed themselves pretty bad.
Now, would you say was there any downsides of anything obviously you can't really regret asking that question, but is there any downside to you kind of touched on it a little bit, but like anything, besides like the shock jocks, you're just like, oh God, if somebody in public harasses you or anything like that?
Well, you get the Twitter backlash every time you say something that the neo-libs don't like, but what are you going to do about that? And I've had the bomb squad out at my house several times, had people call me with voice scramblers saying that they were going to kill me. I was out of town. I was in Memphis, Tennessee doing a radio show once, like live in their studio. They flew me out. And I got a voicemail from a woman pretending to be my wife saying, "Help, Ken, they're raping me. They're killing me," and screaming. And I knew it wasn't her, but that kind of shit.
Wow.
Kind of stuff that makes you sleep with your gun with one chambered in the drawer next to you.
I just my voicemail. Here's what I did, and I don't know if anybody else is out there. You want to do this? I just let my voicemail box fill up, okay, and I just don't answer any number that I don't know. And if anybody wants to get a hold of me, they can just text or call on Facebook or whatever. Because if I do pick up the phone, it's always like, "Hello, and thank you for your car warranty" or whatever. Something stupid. I know I'm not doing this.
They call you and they put you on hold immediately.
I have a funny story about that.
I can't figure out how to make the voicemail icon on my phone go away at the top without listening to the damn voicemail. So I just can't. I can't leave it up there. It eats away at my brain.
I'm the same exact way. I think we're kind of the same guy. We'll get to that in a little second too. But I'm cluttered on the top of the screen. It has to go. No, if there's boom, boom, boom. I don't care if it could be an ESPN notification or a Burger King app update. It's going, man. It's freaking going. Now, when you were on College Game Day, how did you get approached for that?
I don't remember if it was a Twitter DM or a Facebook message or something. It's basically, if anybody asked me to do something and it wasn't, just stupid or evil, I'd just be like, okay. I wasn't going to do game day because I'm not really a college football guy. I never got into college football because, I don't know. I went to a technical school. We didn't exactly have a fucking football team.
Me either. Never paid attention.
We weren't going to have ITT Tech versus, DeVry University or Phoenix University online. So I never really got into it. But one of my buddies is like a huge college football guy. He loves Tennessee Volunteers. And he was like, "Dude, game day wants you to be on." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do it." He's like, "You got to do it. Ask them if they'll give you some swag." Oh, that's the other thing. Like places that don't give you money, sometimes they'll send you a swag. Like I've got so many hats and T-shirts and shit. And apparently the only T-shirts they have sitting in their office are mediums. So I can kind of use them for halter top. Yeah, so I gave my friend a couple of College Game Day hats. And I don't even remember what we talked about. Then I told them in advance, like, I don't know anything about college football. And they're like, "That's okay. We'll tell you what to say." That's the only place that I ever accepted talking points from, because they had me on for, I don't remember what they call the segment, but it's like where they're doing their predictions. And I'm like, "Yeah, I think Mizzou is absolutely going to dominate in the SEC up until they hit this point in the schedule." And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm saying. I could be reading Korean right now.
So now, do you ever get sick of talking about the sweater itself?
I despise the sweater. I do not have it anymore, and I don't like wearing the replica that I do have. It makes me feel like a fucking cartoon character. People don't
Yes.
seem to be able to accept that I wear different clothes every day.
Because obviously, as we've gathered in this interview, you're a very fascinating individual. There's more than one facet to Ken Bone besides this red sweater. So that's why I just had to ask, because
Yeah.
I mean, even when you came on Mar, I could look in your eyes. I was like, you do not want to be wearing this fucking sweater right now. You did not want to be wearing
No,
that.
I did not want to wear it. I ripped those pants too, not because I was fat, because when I got up in the makeup chair, one of the pockets of the pants I was wearing that day caught on the arm of the makeup chair and tore the seam like 2 inches down the side of my leg. I'm like, shit. Fortunately, it was the left side, so you couldn't see it on camera as I was walking on stage.
All right, now we'll continue with the sweater, but it's not based on you. But the second I saw the sweater at the debate, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be this guy for Halloween. This guy looks just like me. Now, bear with me here. I'm going to pull up, I'm going to share a screen here. I got to get this. This might take me a second here.
In the meantime, here's, it's not going to show up on camera. Maybe get in tight. Maybe block the light out.
Just
It's starting to kind of come into resolution now. That's the rip in the seam of the pants. There it is, a little better without the glare.
Okay.
All right, now there is me as you for Halloween. That's me dressed as Ken Bone.
Nice. You look 10 years older in that picture than you do right now.
I know. That's what. Well, the funny thing was at the time I used to rock a mustache, and Tom is actually funny. Tom's even on the show tonight. Well, Tom's a regular on the show. He's one of the hosts. But when we were talking, I was looking at the Facebook posts from back when you're first on the debate. I was like, Ken Bone, is this guy's real name? Is this seriously? Is this a joke? Because because we're from Cleveland, and Bone Thugs and Harmony. So the second I hear Ken Bone, I'm like, Ken Bone, 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 Bone. And so when we finally did deduce that it was a real person, Tom's like, hey, I've seen somebody like that before. And they showed a picture of me when I had the mustache and the glasses. And I had LASIK back in 07. So I bought these glasses up at the drug mart to wear for you can't really see it this far away. But I bought these glasses that are in the picture. I still got them up at the drug mart up here for like $1. And I just popped the lenses out of them, went up to the Dillard's, bought a sweater, and I already had a pair of khakis and the shirt and the tie. And it was the most epic costume. And we were up at the pink hair girl over here, mystery pink hair girl. She had to dance up at the school. And there was a bunch of other people dressed like you as well. I gotta see if we can get this in here. Check this one. I see that.
Nice.
So everybody at the school was dressed like you, and they were like, "Okay, we gotta get a picture." So I did that. I wonder
if you're going to be known for something, I know if people hear your name and they just like think and smile for a second, that's something good to be known for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
I mean, if that comes to, if I'm ever famous for something, hopefully it's something that people would be laughed at rather than be disappointed in.
And what I think is ironic about the, you looking like me and me looking like you kind of deal is that what kind of brought me to the culmination of all this is what brought you around eventually to Joe Jorgensen, as you can see from my libertarian shirt here, and the Libertarian Party. I mean, I've seen in the past when we were on Bill Maher, you talked about being a libertarian. What just decided to let's endorse Joe and not play the speculation game like we did last time? What brought you around to that decision today?
Well, I refuse to play the two-party game anymore because I'm sure you've noticed. I don't know how old you are, but you seem like you're somewhere around my age. I'm 38. You guys are probably younger because you're certainly better looking. But every presidential election so far in your lifetime has been, dude, if you do not vote for this guy, you and your grandma and your dog and your neighbor, you're going to fucking die. Democracy is over. You are voting for Mao Zedong if you don't vote for Hillary Clinton, Al Gore. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on. These milquetoast center-right poser progressives. Fine. Whatever. And finally, I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of taking a bite out of either side of the shit sandwich. I live in Illinois anyway, which according to Real Clear Politics is 99% chance of going Biden. If it doesn't go Biden, I will kiss every one of your asses. Guaranteed, I will fucking fly out there. Okay? So I figure it does not matter who I vote for. I'm no Trump fan. I don't want him to win, but I don't have to worry about my vote contributing to a Trump win in any way, shape, or form because Illinois is going to go blue. So I look at the third party candidates, the real ones, not, like the Socialist Party and the people that are only on the ballot in 2 states or whatever. Looked at Howie Hawkins, who is so virulently anti-gun, I couldn't get on board with him because there's more guns than people in my house. And then I looked at Joe Jorgensen, and I'm like, get us out of these bullshit foreign interventionist wars. Oh, get healthcare affordable again by allowing real competition instead of letting the insurance companies have a stranglehold on all of this invisible price structure. Allow companies to actually compete with each other. Let's try that. All these other things, instead of a bunch of neoliberal garbage or a bunch of neocon garbage, somebody who actually seems to believe what they say. And even if I know Joe Jorgensen can't win, because mathematically, look at it, she can't fucking win. But if you get the libertarians up over 5%, then a third party finally becomes a viability. Starts getting federal election funding and automatic ballot access and things that you need in order to be competitive and push this. Jimmy Dore, one of my favorite media personalities, calls it the rapacious oligarchy. Push these rapacious oligarchs to the side a little bit by allowing a third voice in. If we get a third party in, God only knows what could happen after that. Maybe we do have a Green Party for the real progressives and libertarians for the real small government people and Democrats and Republicans for the right and center right authoritarian. They're not really that much different. I don't care what anybody fucking says. They're not. Maybe we can finally have that kind of competition in the marketplace of ideas. And for everybody that says you're throwing your vote away voting third party, you're not. It's only throwing your vote away because everybody says you're throwing your vote. Well, you wasted your vote. Nobody's going to vote third party. Yeah, because you fucking say it's a waste of a vote, you idiot. If we all voted for Joe, she'd fucking win. That's how math works.
Right. She might actually get some airtime on TV. She might actually, you actually be able to see her in stuff.
H. Ross Perot was a real factor, despite being a little skeleton wrapped in white tape and talking like a cartoon character.
Not gonna do it.
Abraham Lincoln was a fucking third-party candidate.
I didn't know that.
The Republican Party never won anything before Lincoln, ever. Lincoln is the daddy of the Republican Party. He was the third-party dark horse of his election.
Yeah, because back then the Democrats were, as a lot of Republicans like to bring up, back then the Democrats were the slaveholding party and whatnot, and then the
Republican Party with their abolitionist ideas successfully displaced the Whigs. The Whigs were still around from the days of the Whigs and Tories, and the Republicans pushed them up. It's kind of why I've always thought it was weird that Republicans are called the GOP or the Grand Old Party, because the Democrats are actually an older party. But hey, whatever, man. Politics is supposed to
bring back the Bull Moose Party.
Absolutely.
A little Teddy Roosevelt action.
Yeah.
Now, if there was other third-party candidates that had the kind of visibility that Jorgensen had, they would have been on my radar too. The Unity Party and the People's Party, both trying to get off the ground, did not have anybody on the ballot in Illinois, and I knew a write-in mathematically couldn't do as much good as a vote for Joe could. And plus, I like her. I went over her policy positions, and I like them. So it was a chance to get on board with somebody who might actually help get a message out there. It's not a protest vote. It's not a wasted vote. It's a vote for what I want to actually happen, even though I realistically know that it won't happen immediately. It's a building block.
I'm hoping within the next several presidential cycles, we'll see third party somebody. There'll be some people who'll be getting sick of the left and the right, and they're going to see somebody that's different from the two parties actually have a chance.
If there's not a real third party, like by the time I retire, it's because we done fucked up. We just allowed these people to continue steamrolling us every cycle by lying to us and saying how they were going to save the nation. Yeah, Joe saved the nation. He's been in politics. If you're a U.S. senator, you're one of the 100 most powerful people on the face of the planet, basically. 150 at the outside. Even if you're from a piece of crap little state, you're still incredibly powerful because you're in the Senate. So he's been one of the top 150 most powerful individuals on the face of the earth since my dad was in junior high school. Well, he's really doing great so far, Joe. What do we have to show for this two-party system? That's something I got to ask. What do you have to show for your third-party protest vote? So I asked him back, what do I have to show for my duopoly? We got qualified immunity for cops. We got broken health care. We got millions of people in prison for drugs, especially if you're black and brown, because it is real easy to tweak those laws. Like, hey, powder cocaine, that's not so bad. That's a slap on the wrist because that's white. Crack cocaine, you're going away for fucking ever, you degenerate piece of garbage.
Yeah. Third strike, you're still a loaf of bread.
We're throwing people in jail for an ounce of weed, and all of our progressive candidates this time are the ones that championed the war on drugs and then helped prosecute a bunch of minor possession offenders in California. And then the 94 crime bill guy. That's your criminal justice reform candidates now.
Well, we were big Yang fans coming into the election, and the way that the DNC treated the progressive wing of the party, we kind of, once Yang dropped out, maybe, okay, Bernie or Liz Warren, something like that, they went right to Biden. I think, personally, Bloomberg spent $750 million of his own money just to get Bernie and suppress the progressive vote so they could push Biden through, if you're into conspiracies and all that. But my ultimate reason in voting for Joe is that neither one of these parties embraced the legal marijuana at all. The Democrat, I interviewed Spike Cohen last week. He told me that the Democratic Party, they're supporting decriminalization and that's it. How are you going to espouse all this stuff? Like you were saying, Kamala Harris was the number one person for putting away weed offenders, I think, on the whole West Coast out of prosecutors. And Biden was the author of their crime bill. And they're not even for weed. They probably never smoked weed in their life.
From the time that Kamala Harris entered her position as DA to the time she left, she increased the percentage, like the pie chart of minorities in prison by something like 15 or 20%.
Wow.
So there's more people of color in prison for minor drug offenses after she left than before she left. And she's a great reform candidate. You put people in jail for smoking weed, and then you go on the Breakfast Club and laugh about smoking weed yourself. What a piece of shit. And these are the people we're asked to hold up like they're our progressive champions. The Libertarian Party is supposed to, not just supposed to be, but it is. It's the small government party. It's the get government out of your way party. It's not generally the advanced social causes party. It's the live and let live party. Mm-hmm. Joe Jorgensen is a million times more progressive than Joe Biden. If you're a progressive and you're going to vote for Joe Biden, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah, that's what I liked about one of Yang's policies was decriminalization, and then anybody who was like in jail just for like a minor drug offense, he was saying, "Let them all out, and I'll give you a high five on the way out of the prison."
Yeah, I would accept nothing less than decriminalization and immediate pardon of all possession offenders. Nothing less than that. And even small-time growers and dealers, I can let them out. Change the law. And I would rather not settle for decriminalization. I'd rather settle for rescheduling and legalization. Mm-hmm. You ought to be able to buy weed at the 7-Eleven.
I can tell you that someday weed will be as common as coffee in America. I'm full. Next election, it's balls to the wall. I'm for nothing less than full legalization, state or countrywide. None of this states' rights bullshit. Because these people who don't smoke weed, these old ass people, 75-year-olds and shit, they don't know the saving properties of it for people like people like me, for example. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I credit weed to this day for keeping me sane and not drinking anymore. Granted, I did drink when I smoked too, but
iced tea.
Yeah, and the Dairyman's iced tea. Shout out to Dairyman's iced tea if they're still going to make it here. But so it's like I can't jive with. I spent a lot of time thinking about this. We're here in Ohio. We're in a pretty purple state. It's kind of trending reddish a little bit, so my vote could theoretically count. But I just can't not in good conscience vote for somebody like Joe Biden who's going to just not care about what I want in terms of the marijuana. Biden's probably going to win the thing. We're being honest. You look at the polls this time. The people always ask, how do you think Biden's going to win? Well, what new voters has Trump got? He's done nothing but dog people and call everybody losers and assholes. He's not getting anybody new. Nobody's like, oh, who's this Donald Trump guy? Let me check him out. By now, you either hate Donald Trump or you don't like Donald Trump. It's even worse than when you were at the thing, Ken.
That's what really baffles me about the Biden campaign, though, is Biden, like the DNC, they had their big online convention, and who did they bring into the convention? Did they bring in a bunch of progressive thinkers or a bunch of people who don't vote or propose a bunch of ideas like, I don't know, maybe healthcare in the middle of a pandemic, something to fix that, or police reform or decriminalization or anything that speaks to the 100 million people who are voting age and voting eligible who do not vote? Nah, we're going to bring in Colin Powell and a bunch of other former Republicans. Maybe we can snake away 1% of the Republican vote instead of going after all these people who don't feel like Joe Biden's worth getting off the goddamn couch for.
Amen. Amen. So how you been dealing with the COVID? You were talking about, you were working home for about 9 weeks there. Are you guys in lockdown in Missouri? Can you go to restaurants? Or not Missouri, in Illinois? Can you guys still go out and stuff like that? How you been dealing with it?
Well, restaurants have adapted a lot of outdoor seating and stuff, and they can do half capacity. So life is getting to quasi-normal, but it's still kind of warm here. It's like 85 degrees today. And I don't really feel like sitting outside eating Mexican food and sweating my balls off. So we usually just order in. You can still go to whatever stores. Like, of course, we ran every mom and pop store out of business because it's not safe to be in Chuck's Hardware, but it's safe to be in Lowe's. At Lowe's, they got enough hand sanitizer to make everything safe. Except they can't be open 24 hours anymore. They got to close at 9 o'clock so they can sanitize everything. That way we can cram a whole day's worth of customers into less hours, because that's safe as fuck, right? To concentrate more people together at the same time instead of letting them trickle in. Because I'm one of those insane people that would go grocery shopping at 2 a.m. But we can't fucking do that. We got to all be there at the same time, standing in line next to each other. Insanity.
Yeah, I've gone on the weekend grocery shopping at like 4:30 in the morning before, just to avoid the crowds.
I love doing that. That was my favorite part back when I was working rotating shift, is I could schedule all my appointments for like 1 in the afternoon on a Tuesday, and I could do all my shopping in the middle of the night, and shit. It was great. Never had to interact with any people if I didn't want to. I can't do that now because, half our COVID measures actually make it more likely you're going to get COVID.
You gotta go talk to people at the front of the store and interact with them, and let me scan your head.
We can't really do too much in the way of, like, we used to get together with my grandmother once a month, me and my brother and sister, my uncles, everybody. Can't really do that anymore because my dad has he has an artificial heart valve, so he's partially disabled from that. He's definitely at risk with heart disease. If he were to get COVID, he would friggin' die. My grandma is nearly 80. If she were to get it, she would die. So I can't really go see them. Every once in a while, we'll go over there and sit on the outside of, the screen door, and we'll sit on the porch, and she'll sit at the kitchen table, and we can talk and catch up. And I call her on the phone and stuff, but it's hard on her not to be able to, get together with her old lady friends and go out to lunch and stuff. I was never really that social to begin with. I had my fill of talking to other human beings back when I had to pretend I was a real celebrity. So life hadn't changed for me that much. It's just, it gets kind of old not being able to go do anything or go anywhere.
I'm getting sick of not being able to go to any rock concerts. We get to go to some of the Browns games because I'm a Browns season ticket holder. So we went to, I've been to 2 of them so far, and we're going tomorrow or Sunday. But yeah, there's just no rock concerts. Like, we're a lot of stand-up comedians on the show. You should really get into stand-up too, Ken. You are a funny motherfucker. I'm not just saying that because you did the show. You are quick-witted and you are off the ball, chain funny. That's fucking hilarious. I could really respect it.
I
In
agree.
Chicago once. It was a good time.
Say it again, man?
Yeah. So I did a setup in Chicago once. It's on my YouTube channel, but the video is really trash. Yeah, it's a good time. But yeah, you can't go to comedy clubs. I can't go to hockey games. I love going to hockey games. Can't go to the movies. And even if you could, they didn't release any movies because you can't go to the movies. So, that's like the top 3 things I like doing. You can't do anymore.
Yeah, I'm just taking the kids to the playgrounds and parks. And I want to go. There's a little kiddie park near us with just like children-sized amusement park stuff, and it's closed for the summer. So, it sucks.
Oh man, my kid's like almost 17, and he won't let me push him on the swings no more. So I don't got to worry about that.
My daughter's, my invisible pink hair girl. She lets me push her on the swing every now and then. Still.
Oh, that's sweet.
She's awesome, man. Well, is there anything anything you promote nowadays besides your thing, or just living your life? Or
yeah, I don't really have anything. everybody's always trying to get me to start a podcast or whatever. I'm like, well, you're about 4 years too late for me to really capitalize on the popularity. I do love doing stand up, and I do it occasionally, but of course there's no shows, there's no open mics, there's no nothing.
That way.
So can't really do that. Other than that, I'm just at KenBone18 on Twitter. You don't make money from having Twitter followers, but maybe someday you will. So follow me, I guess.
You could do OnlyFans.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
This is
This would crash.
Excuse me.
Doing so good.
It's got the runner.
Gonna catch COVID.
Have any symptoms? Any dry cough? Any shortness of breath?
No, that's a marijuana based going.
He has
Oh,
COVID.
sorry. It's not COVID. Outstanding. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining us, Mr. Ken Bone, today. As he said, you can follow him on Twitter at KenBone18. And enjoy the rest of your day, my friend. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
What time is it?
Yeah, happy to be here. Book me on Cameo if you want to spend $25 getting me to say happy birthday to your brother or whatever, I guess.
You were who else did we have? We had somebody else was on Cameo. Oh, William Hung was on Cameo. Remember, Tom? He was the other one on Cameo.
Yeah.
So I think you're more famous than William Hung there, Mr. Bone. So you move up to you're moving up in our list of most famous people. You're above William Hung, I think.
I'll take it.
All right, my friend. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you later, man.
Hey, have a good one.
All right.
See ya.
And we're joined back by Tom. What's up, buddy?
I'm here too.
Okay,
Yeah.
heck, sorry.
Look at this. Yeah,
Oh, jeez. Sorry about that.
Why'd the bug come
I got
back?
sanitizer.
I kicked him out.
Where did Don go, dude? Did Don hit up?
You're supposed to be here.
Where the hell was Don at? Did he message us? Did he get caught in traffic?
He found a Ponderosa.
Just one of these.
Oh, okay. So word is that Pat just got word. Don found an open Ponderosa, and he's going there for the $8.99 steak buffet.
And their buffet is still open somehow.
Right, and he doesn't care that the Ponderosa technically isn't open. He just wants to go in there and smash. You know what I mean? So,
Their chicken wings.
It's
are really
awesome.
good. Remember Ponderosa? Their chicken wings.
dude, Ponderosa. I used to go. There used to be a Ponderosa here in North Olmsted.
Yeah,
When I
right next
first
to
moved
Bob
here-
Evans. Right next to Bob
When I
Evans.
first moved here, it was still open because I remember they had the sign that said we're open late for Ramadan because the Islamic people would go there and during Ramadan you can only eat after sundown. You can only eat sundown to sun up. So they would go there at fucking 8 o'clock and just go in there and eat the buffet.
There was one in Brook Park where I grew up. I'm pretty sure they burned down because they never cleaned out their grease bins.
Nice,
Yeah.
dude. I hate when I worked at Long John Silver's. I used to have to clean the grease traps every single night, and I hated it. I still hate it. Like thinking about it makes me not want to live anymore. It was bad. Fuck. So what you think of Ken Dole, man? He's a pretty nice guy, huh?
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah.
He's quick-witted. Dude, he is quick-witted as fuck. I mean, he needs to get back there and do stand-up. And he already has the in. You know what I mean? He's already got his 15 minutes that, he doesn't want to talk about. He could joke bringing that into the conversation.
Yeah, but wow, everybody's going, where's the sweater, man? Where's the sweater?
No, I think he could. What a good thing for him that he could do is be a supporter for the libertarian ticket. He could be one of the people out there, not necessarily the face, but like one of the known supporters, or even run for politics. I mean, he
I
could
forgot
do
to ask him that. I was going to ask him why he didn't run for office because I was bringing up the mayor thing. But yeah,
he could run for the local or state office as a libertarian candidate, and he's already got the name notoriety. He's is Illinoisan. I'm not sure. Like,
Illinoisian.
but that could be an option to do, like run on, get more libertarians out there in not Congress or representatives, that kind of thing.
All right, give me 1 second. I'll go take a lead. Tom, or what's your name, Pat? You hold the show for a second, buddy.
Yeah.
Hold the show for me.
What's your name?
You and the invisible pink hair.
Oh, wow.
So, Pat, what up? What's up? I haven't talked to you in a while. You
Wait,
still?
invisible thing.
So I'm doing all right, man. How's the family?
Oh, pretty good. Got the little babe, little 3-month-old now going on.
Yeah, nice. That's good. When are you coming back in the studio?
Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
Invisible now.
When it's completely finished, I want you guys to fix it up for me.
Bring the whole family.
Yeah.
Full finish is as finished as it's going to get, I think. I mean,
Yeah, he likes to procrastinate.
yeah.
I thought it would be done more. I thought he'd have up the drywall and all that.
Nope.
Yeah, it's these
He's too lazy.
these lights are pretty.
Insulation already?
Lights are pretty decent, I suppose.
Did you get the insulation?
No insulation.
I mean, like, did he buy it?
Did
No.
he buy it? No.
Because that's quick. You could insulate that garage probably like in an hour.
Yeah, you bought I think he wasted the money he should have gotten insulation on his Vespa scooter.
Yeah,
So
he did.
that he didn't need.
We have to convince him to do some Vespa scooter, like not necessarily podcasts, but like quick videos.
Scoot.
Get the scoots.
Yeah. He did. It's pretty funny watching him. He brought his scooter from his school's like down the street.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool because he has dome. If he didn't know any better, like going look like he's wearing like a silver helmet or something.
Scoot.
Yeah, do you have a helmet for that thing there, Joe?
I do. You want to go get my Vespa helmet? I can do that on the air. Hold on.
Yeah, let's go see your helmet.
Oh, you're wiping off the makeup.
It's like a flesh-colored helmet. If you didn't know any better, you see him for a second because his dome is so fucking huge.
Right.
Yeah, he bought the only one
That's
in the
right.
shop that was big enough for him.
That's why he doesn't. That's why he always wears hats because the glare of the light.
only
would-
one that was big enough that they had at the store.
Sounds-
This thing really looks fucking retarded, dudes. I'm not really looking forward to wearing this bad
Do you
boy.
like his makeup? I did it myself.
Still got two people watching. It's probably Murph and me in the background. But yeah, this is the helmet that they gave me. Or not they gave me, that I bought. Up at the shop here.
I'm surprised you didn't get like an old World War I Germany helmet with like the big spike in the top.
Like, yeah.
Well, this is the only one they had that was my size.
I was gonna say that.
You got the visors there. So if you
Why's your lights flashing?
Oh, the bike's on. Well, the thing's on because I did the thing. But yeah, so if you're out there, you see me rolling around North Olmsted. That's on the Vespa. I was driving around earlier. People were looking at me, smiling and stuff. Give me a cool vibes, dude, kind of thing. So we'll see. Either they're making fun of me or
Never
they're
do that again.
Special needs kid or something.
right. They think I'm a slow person or some shit. But hey,
You get a unicorn horn for that helmet too.
Unicorn. Nikki can
no such thing.
put glitter on it.
I will do that.
Fuck yeah, man. So next week, hold on, let me get back to the show here. All right, so if you guys didn't hear it too, next week we have Leroy Horde from the Browns going to be on the show.
How the heck did you get him on the show?
And he sent me a message on IG, and he responded back saying I'll be on the show. It was
He's like famous and stuff.
you know who Leroy Horde is?
No, but he's on the Browns.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'll be honest. I didn't know who he was.
How did you not know? He was a first round pick. Even Tom knows who Leroy Horde is.
Well, of course.
Then he went to Michigan. It was him and touchdown Tiny Vardell were supposed to be the backfield of the future.
Well, no wonder I don't know who he is. He came from Michigan.
I wasn't a Browns fan back then. I wasn't a football fan.
You were into what were you into? Straight stuff only.
So yeah, I don't know, video games basically. I didn't get into sports until like a little older.
He played Mario up until 2006, and then Brady Quinn got him in. Wonder what happened to Don. You think Don's okay?
No, he's probably drunk somewhere in an alley.
Yeah, he's probably drunk at some fucking campground. I'm at Pymatuming Supergrounds or some shit. Let me see, man.
I'm impressed. He did come to 2 straight shows, and he was there the whole time. So
Yeah,
I'm
man.
impressed with that.
Fuck yeah, man.
Oh, on the North Olmsted page says that there was a big loud crash sound or a noise just now by the county line. It sounded like a plane. Could that be?
Oh my god, dude!
Sounds like a blimp went down.
I'll tell you what, man. Once this mayor run pops up, I'm gonna get on that fucking message board every day and laugh at people. That's gonna be my official policy. I'd be like, look, you're an idiot. They're not gonna take you into consideration, okay? Every day a dump truck goes down the street. Every fucking week you post on the Facebook, what's that loud noise? Is everything okay? You know it's a fucking dump truck, you 85-year-old bastard. Just roll it. You know what I mean? Like, come on. And what's up with Joshua Marshall, where the fuck his name is, every single second of every single day with that goddamn coyote joke. Dude, it's not even ironically funny anymore.
Yeah.
It's like doing a remix of Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby. Nobody's going to laugh. So if you're out there, Joshua Marshall Allen, whatever the fuck your name is, you know what I'm talking about, Tom. He doesn't even have a picture on his fucking Facebook.
This guy,
Stop with the joke. Fuck with that shit, dude. God damn it.
What coyote joke?
There's a running joke in the North Olmsted group that there's coyotes everywhere or some shit.
That's stupid. So North Olmsted Facebook pages, like the community pages. Oh, there's too many mattress stores. Oh, there's the coyotes. The deer. And so there's just every time is like, oh, what was this? What's going on? People have questions about things. They talk about coyotes.
Yeah, so like every time somebody's like, oh, looks like an accident at Corner Clay, whatever. They're like, oh, must be a coyote.
Just pop. Just do it.
Fucking ridiculous, man.
You should right now go on the North Olmsted page and basically just pull up North Olmsted neighborhood. Search for his name.
It's actually not a bad idea. Let's do that here. Hold on.
Search for his name.
Let me make sure all the Facebook windows are closed. All right, so you are.
What was his name?
Joshua Allen Marshall. Something. What's the name of the group though? You might be from North Olmsted. Here we go. Well, you're from the North Olmsted. Let's make fun of this guy live in the air here.
Dude, what
in front of the whole two people we got watching, which is probably me and you. Let's see here. Gotta find this guy. I know he's on one of these fucking things. And I know your people are looking at me like, what are you talking about? Well, I'm looking at my Facebook right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, the last half of the show is historically low ratings, so nobody ever checks it out. In time, we will watch it. All right, if you're watching right now, subscribe to the show. We got one new subscriber tonight. Shouts out to Chris Voller. Went to Kent State with him.
He has currently 156 subscribers.
156, baby. We're up. We're at 155 before the day started. And Chris Voller's liked several of my posts before. Surprised he wasn't subscribed before today. Fuck, I can't find anything.
I'm searching for it too.
Here's some more.
Let's see. Nick, don't do that to the microphone.
Here's some more.
Oh, so this guy's advertising on the fucking page. How come I can't advertise on the page? Let's check this shit out.
Oh, the repair.
Well, landscaping, hardscaping, pressure washing, gutter cleaning, and much more. We do it all. Man, shut the fuck up with your shit. Why? How does he? And the group, the North Olmsted Uncensored group only has like 350 people in it. So like it's me, Keith Piper, and fucking Murphy, the only people who see all my posts.
Oh, I left that group.
It's always fucking, what's his name, Mike?
Yeah, it's all that's just Trumpists. Just
Trump. It's like, goddamn, dude.
Memes.
Right, like
Sick of that shit. Might as well be Cult 45, North Olmsted group.
Cult 45, I like that. How come we've never heard that before? Cult 45, that's great.
I'm in multiple cults.
You're not in a cult. Oh, here we go. Joshua Allen Marshall. Remember, everyone, it's bulk pickup. If you have a vacuum, shop, shampoo, or you're planning on tossing, then let me know. And now, okay, that's not that. I think we know this guy.
Actually. I know Josh.
Yeah, you know him.
I know Josh. What's up, Josh? No, he's not listening.
Josh.
Hi, Josh. Don't know who you are, but hi.
Oh, here we go. Look at the post from August 2nd. It's a full moon tonight, everyone. Beware the elusive deer is lurking in the shadows, ready to pounce on its victim.
How do you spell Deeroyote?
Deeryote. Just search that and you can bring up quote some of his posts probably.
Yeah.
Fucking basic ass motherfucker. He's probably sitting there like, man, this is funny. I'm about to post about the Deeryote again.
Yeah. Get the Deeryote coast. People gonna laugh so hard. I'm so funny.
I'm so funny. Everybody's laughing.
So funny. I'm a copy paste same joke.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Hey, what was that sound? The experiment Deeryote escaped from a government lab. It's a hybrid of a deer and a coyote hybrid.
I just told that joke 2 posts ago, but I'll tell it again because that's funny.
Ha ha.
What is he talking about? He probably doesn't.
Whoa, Josh.
Yeah, does Josh know what we're talking about right now?
He doesn't watch the show.
Dude, we're talking about
He doesn't know about this.
Nobody knows about this. Well, we need to start talking. That's what we need to start doing. We can start talking shit about other podcasts. Just keep it controversial. Like do the 2
Well, you're saying North Olmsted people on this webpage know about us? You think Josh knows about us?
I doubt it.
No one cares.
I know. That's what that fucking mayoral run, dude, is going to fucking light it up, man. I'm telling you. Once I get that mayoral run going, then people will come to the fucking channel, dude. And we'll fucking be out there. Then we'll be millionaires. At least thousandaires.
Brother, I'm taking the blanket. I ain't cold.
You are so ridiculous. We should probably just wrap this up because we're just kind of bullshitting to ourselves here. We'd like to thank Mr. Ken Bone for joining us today. Also like to thank Mystery Pink Hair Girl for joining us.
Hi.
Thanks last week. And special extra thanks. Shout out to Dave Kirsch from last week.
Yeah, man.
Still one of our best shows. We love you, Dave. Best guest ever still to come out there. Thanks for Tom joining us virtually. As always, Pat, take us home, buddy.
Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Stay safe. However, every Friday night at 9:30 p.m., stay safe without an exception. Tonight, get infected.
Outstanding, everybody. We'll be at the Browns game. Me, Cruz, and Hernan, and Don Jorgensen can be at the Browns game. So watch versus the Browns game. And we'll catch you next week when we got Leroy Hoyer joining us. All right, take it easy, guys. Love it. Bye.